Yep. Hello, YouTube. Yes, so today a different kind of a live session. I will look to see how the sound is looking. Okay, so everything is pretty fine. So let me explain what's gonna happen today. I thought about some kind of a challenge, like doing different objects that I'm having in my. I've done like 9 photos, and the objects are some some of them easy, some of them a little bit more difficult. Not all of them, just 2 moves and it's done. So we're gonna see how it's going. I think it's pretty fine. I'm gonna show also the photos now that I'm having. The scene here is like that. So I'm having that should be also this pot, this kind of a box, this circular socket. I will have some challenges with those circles there. This should be hard, and also this, and then ukulele. So these are all. Maybe I'm gonna adjust also the light, just like that should be. Okay, so let's get into Blender. Okay, Blender opened up. Let's see. I'm gonna change. So for the moment, I'm having only the default cube, just like that. And let me see where I'm gonna put. Maybe I will change this to the photo image editor. Okay, let's open up. Let's see where you are. What is gonna be the first thing that I'm gonna start with? Yes, I will just close my eyes and choose something. Okay, so I'm starting already with hard things. Okay, that's gonna be. So let me just hit open. I was already there. Flip. Why is it? Let's just check. That's very strange. You know what? Outline is like that. I'm gonna keep the photo. So I'm gonna look into the second monitor. That's pretty good. Now let me close. That's the timer for the beginning of the stream. Okay, so let's get started. Where do I start? Let's first off delete this. Then I will scale the things around here, something like that. Maybe this also seems to be too big. Something like that. Let's apply the scale. And now let's get into the details. So I'm gonna go into edit mode. Okay, let's add an edge loop around here and here. From what I'm seeing, something like this. Then I'm gonna scale on y-axis just like that. This should be fine. Maybe what I'm gonna do also, I will put an edge loop around here, and then let's see. These vertices are gonna be gone, just like that. Okay, let's add one modifier, mirror on y-axis without x-axis, and clipping turned on. From what I remember in the back of it, I'm having this part. The back of it's smooth. For the moment I'm gonna do just that. Maybe what I can do also to help me, I'm gonna bring a cylinder and let's scale this cylinder to a point like that, let's say. Something like that. Shade smooth with auto smooth. This should be fine. And let's carry on. Do more. I'm trying to think about what should go first. Like I'm gonna select this, then insert these faces. Let's delete this thing here. Now it's gonna be a little bit tricky because I should match around here just like that. This should be fine. Now let me see. One here, just like that. I'm gonna adjust these points. It's the other way. G twice. So the first part it's solved. Here I'm just thinking about a full edge loop. Let's just solve that. Just like that. Then press delete and dissolve edge, because I will need an edge right here. If not, I had an handgun there. Okay, then let's see what I need to do more. This should be lower. G twice, just like that. I also need an edge loop around here. Why do I hurry? I hurry and I'm doing things that I do not really want, like this part. Now I have to merge this words M at last, just like that. Okay, so things are much better now. Now let me see. Here I'm gonna put an edge loop. Let me select these two words, going a little bit lower with them, just like that. Back to polygon selection. I'm gonna select these polygons here, just all of them like that. Then I'm gonna separate it. Let's also separate this part. P selection. Do I have more to separate? So that's fine for the moment. Let's just select everything and extrude. Just like that. Here I need to adjust the polygons on x-axis, just like that. Now I'm going to edges. First off, this edge is gonna be here. Let me also slide this edge, something like that, so I can slide more. This should be how it looks. A little bit for this edge. I select all of these edges here, just like that. From here is going too much, so I'm gonna select also separated this point. I see also here it's gone too low. Doing this and the same on the other part. Here is just gonna be small, and just like that. Everything looks great. Here I need to move a little bit on y-axis. What did happen? Someone subscribed and I didn't have the notification. I will do it. So in this way you can see how it looks. I do not know why Streamlabs is doing that. Like it didn't process. But here you are. Thank you for subscription, Igor Roja. It's gonna work. Oh, here it is. Let me add one more edge loop around here. Now that I'm seeing how it's looking, maybe that's too much, so I'm gonna go just like that. So I'm gonna select everything from here. Y, okay. Here it's fine. Here I'm gonna adjust also this edge, just like that. I should solidify, but let's solidify that part. I'm gonna go into the local view, only rim, so that's fine. Let's solve also the things with this part. So I'm gonna select everything, then Y, just like that. Here again I need to select the faces, then delete them while I move the cursor. G, Y, just like that. I'm gonna go on x-axis, just like this. This should go on Y. And this edge is also on y-axis. So we are having the bigger part of it. But we still need to do a lot. Let me also bring the foot out of edit for that. And let's do the button here. Inset the faces. Again, because we are having a mirror modifier. We need to delete those faces. Okay. Then I'm gonna slide this edge around here and this one here. Just like that. I'm gonna select these edges. I'm gonna extrude them inside, just like that. And then I can hit P just to separate that face. And again, extrude. What I'm gonna do with that, I'm just gonna add an edge loop around here. And then let's scale on Z-axis this part. And then I'm gonna move on Y-axis, just like that. This looks good. I also need to do a display, and also what I forgot to do, as I'm seeing here, let me go to points, that's gonna be much easier. It's having a small angle, just like that. Now let's do also the display. This line is good here, or maybe I'm gonna make it much more thinner. G twice. You know what, sliding is not helping me, so I'm just gonna move that on the Z-axis, just like that. Then another edge loop around here, And you know what? I'm gonna add a cut around here all the way until this point, just like that. Because this edge is gonna be helpful for me. Dissolve edge. Here I should add another cut, just something like that. I'm already having the display created. Why did I press extrude? Extrude, scale on x-axis to 0. I'm just gonna scale on z-axis, something like that. Then let's extrude more, because the display is gonna be a separated object, like that. And last thing around here, that button. You know what? I'm gonna add 3 edge loops, and the other one is dissolved. So I'm having the right distance, the distance that I'm wanting the edge loops to be. Okay, this is pretty simple. So extrude inside, scale on x-axis 0, then B to separate. I will extrude until this point. Let's also add an edge loop, just scale a little bit, and then I'm gonna do something like that. Okay, pretty cool. So for the moment we are having this part pretty much done. We still need to add some details for it, but everything starts somewhere. You know what? Also here I'm gonna add a cut, because that's gonna help me also with the geometry, just like that. I'm gonna dissolve this edge and add another around here, so we are having quads, not hangons, just like that. And now I can move this part more, but let me select also the bottom part. Now if I move it like that, now it's following better the shape. And let's also add some edge loops, one here and one here. I'm gonna select both of the things, then GX. Let me see where I should get them. Perfect, now it's more round, just like that. Now let's start the base of the atomizer here. That's gonna be maybe the hardest part to do. So I'm gonna get it a little bit more up, just like that. Let me first off start small, so I'm gonna start with the metallic base and then do the glass and all of the other things. First off, an edge loop around here and one here. Select the whole edge loop, scale without z-axis, so that's fine. Now I'm gonna need to do some holes into the geometry. So let's see if I'm selecting. Let's just select the things simple, that. So these are gonna be the places for the holes, but for the moment I need to select some more polygons. Everything is selected, Y, just like that. Then that's gonna go straight, what I'm seeing. So I will try to scale without z-axis, and let's see, right around here. So in this way these faces are straight, as I'm seeing in the photo. Now I'm gonna extrude, then scale without z-axis, so it's going more inwards, just like that. And I guess I can just delete the polygons around here, delete the faces. I can solve this part. I'm gonna put a solidify modifier. Let's take a look. Only rim. Now after I've done that, I discovered that I can use those polygons, but I'm gonna duplicate these polygons. Shift DP, okay. Okay, around here, let's scale a little bit more on z-axis, just like that. Then I will select each of the polygons around here, or maybe only one. Only one should be fine. And extrude, just like that. Wow, that's too much. Oh wait, I got it wrong also. So here I should have empty spaces. Let me select this edge loop, and I can't. You know what, I'm just gonna select these 2 points, just like that, so I found the center of the object. And then I'm gonna bring another cylinder. Now I know that's too big, so I can go with something like this. Shade smooth with auto smooth. That's just gonna be good. Then I'm gonna select these faces, scale without the z-axis, just like that. Also, I'm gonna duplicate, separate the selection and scale without z-axis until this point, and like that. Let's also solidify this part, only rim. This should be fine. I just silenced my, now it's much better. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna put another edge loop around here and I'm gonna lift this part just like that. Not too many details to do there. And then I will extrude inside this, scale without the axis until this point. Then let's also solve the thing with this part. Extrude inside, Control B, so I'm gonna add a small bevel to it, something like that. Now I need to adjust more this. Now because I'm already having this, I can just duplicate it, separate. Yes, so that's perfect. Much more up, like that. Here I'm gonna uncheck only rim. Then I will select everything and scale it a little bit, just like that. So it's fitting right around here. I'm gonna do one more thing, which is selecting this, duplicate, then separate the selection. I don't need anymore the solidify modifier, just like that. And I'm gonna extrude like that, maybe a little bit more. So let's go into local view. I'll add one edge loop around here, then I put one crease like that. So when we are gonna render, we are gonna be able to see this part. So let's duplicate it, Z, then it's gonna go until this part. Now I guess that's gonna be the hardest part to do. So extrude, scale, merge at center. I'm gonna disable the solidify modifier for the moment. And let's see what I'm gonna do with this. Let's first off select all the polygons, then I will do something like that. I will select all of them and extrude until this point. Should be fine. I'm gonna put one more edge loop around here. Let's select polygons, then GZ like that. One more inset. This should be the way it's going. Scale without Z, maybe much more, just like that. And now I need to find a way to do this kind of a shape here. All the notifications are on me when I'm going live. So first off, I'm gonna put an edge loop around here. Then let's see how many I'm gonna select. Let's go for 5, or I gone with 6, the statistics. 4, true change. Okay, so the last one not so good, and also maybe I come from there just like that. And also let's select the faces around like that. So inset, let's scale without the z axis, should be here. Then I'm gonna select only the edges. I need to select also this, I forgot. Again, scale without z, pretty good until this point. G twice here, a lot of points to be adjusted. G twice here. Now it's starting to get its shape. I think about the maybe also giving the materials to the whole thing here. So now I'm gonna select this, but did I forget to move this? No, I moved it. Okay, so now I'm gonna select all the points here from the edges, just like that, and I can hit G twice and move them like that. So it's looking much more smooth. Maybe I can hit auto smooth, only smooth, and I subdivide. I do not need anymore the solidify modifier. Let's see how it's looking subdivided, just like that. Yep, I didn't forget anything. Then maybe I can put the edge loops, and the last edge loop being here. Now I will need also an edge loop around here, just like that. So yep, things are going on pretty well. Okay, I'm gonna put 2 edge loops also here and also here, just like that. Now I'm gonna do the last part, Let's just duplicate it, then separate it. Now I'm gonna scale a little bit, then extrude. No more subdivide modifier. Shade with auto smooth. Two edge loops should be pretty fine here. Then Control B, scaling without the axis just like that. Let's go also into local view because I wanna do something to this part. So I'm gonna select the top part and the bottom part. Well, in the other order, the bottom part and the top part. Just like that. I'm gonna go to Loop Tools, Bridge. Okay, so it's empty inside. The reason I'm doing that because I wanna do that also on this part. So let's select the top part and the bottom part, just like that, and bridge. That was too much? Yes, that was too much. But I can scale this part and it's all working well. One edge loop for you and one edge loop for you here. And the top. Shift D, P, selection, scale a little bit. I'm gonna put two edge loops so it's much more smooth, just like that. And with one edge loop around here, I will just scale that in this way, something like that. Maybe I can also add one edge loop around here. I think about not subdividing this mesh because it's looking pretty well, just something like that. Let's add one more bevel around here, just like that. So the exterior is done. I have to do the coil inside. Let me just change some things here. So viewport display, I'm gonna change that to wires so I can see better what's inside and what I am doing more exactly. So here I'm gonna select this circle around this area, then P to separate the selection. Let me select that circle. So first off, I'm gonna get it to a point like that. Maybe I'm gonna scale a little bit, but let's go into edit mode to scale that, just like that. To keep or not to keep the solidify modifier. Let's say I'm gonna insert the faces, then put it something like that, then extrude until this point, maybe a little bit. Extrude, scale without Z, just like that, so it's fitting right there. Let's go into the local view. I delete the faces, so it's looking something like that. So it's still empty inside. Now that I'm seeing where it's fitting, maybe I'm gonna go much more up. Then I'm gonna select that, extrude on Z-axis around here, and let's select 4 faces, then leave 4 spaces. Now because I'm having a solidify modifier, that's how it's looking. Maybe I'm gonna get it a little bit more thicker, just like that. And let's do the coil. No more the solidify modifier. 3, 4. Here another faces. Let's insert the faces and maybe play a little bit more with the scale, just like that. Extrude and scale without Z-axis. Okay, so that's fine around. Maybe I'm gonna also put some liquid around there. And also let's separate this. Let's say I'm gonna have another material. Let's add a bevel modifier. I'm gonna add it manually by selecting this part. Everything is selected, then Control B, just like that. So it's looking much more smoother and better. Here maybe I can use that bevel modifier, but first off, move first. So something like that. This works well. Now also, maybe I will add some liquid. Let's apply this. Shift D to duplicate. I want to select the inside, just like that. Scale a little bit. Let's put some liquid into it. Extrude, scale, and merge at center, just like that. I'm gonna select this edge and bevel it a little. Now let's solve the other geometry. So here I'm gonna apply the mirror modifier, and I do not need the solid. Okay, so everything should be fine. Now I'm gonna insert the faces around here. I'm gonna select only the edges, and with loop tools I can make a circle. This circle seems to be too big for the mesh, so something like this should be fine. Now let's select all the polygons here, I'm gonna scale, and that's pretty much done, but I will add a subdivide modifier for this, just like that. Let's select the faces around here, and I'm gonna inset again, just like that. Here I may be able to work it out without applying the mirror modifier. Shade smooth. Let's go to 2 levels of subdivision, something like that. And let me select this part and scale it just like that. Here I'm gonna put an edge loop, and also here let's do something like that. Just a little bit more scale around here. One edge loop here, one here. Then you know what, I'm gonna apply the solidify modifier. Now we just need to take a look into the middle part here. Delete the faces also from here, and then so the last part, and we are done. Why do I have this kind of push around here? Okay, problem solved. Let's subdivide also this surface around here. Why do I press Ctrl T instead of one edge loop around here? And this is already looking good. Just one more edge loop around this area, just like that. Now the last thing to be subdivided. Let's see, one edge loop around this area. Maybe here I'm not gonna put one. Here I'm having one edge loop, and also here. Let me take a look at something. Solidify only rim, just like that. Let's apply the modifier. I've done a mistake. I'm already having faces here. Okay, so I should only select these faces, then scale them on y-axis. Face orientation. That was the strange thing happening. Now I don't have any more empty spaces. Good. One last thing to be subdivided. Shade smooth. You're going here and you're here. I'm gonna scale a little bit on y-axis, just like that. Oh, now I see that the button is getting out. Okay, something like that. And we got this effect. Pretty good. The mesh is subdivided. It's looking great. Maybe what I will do more, I will add one edge loop around here. One goes here and one here. But let me solve these points. Okay, I moved also this part, so it should fit much more better. I'm gonna also move a little bit the points around here, something like that, so it's looking much more smooth. Just like this. Let's see how it's gonna look with some materials. So going to cycles, then CPU. I'm gonna put an environment texture, so that's gonna be just fast enough. Again, transparent, so it's not gonna distract us from putting the materials. Let's start with the fun part. That's gonna be glass, shader glass, just like that. Guys, if you enjoy the live stream, please leave a like. Okay, 1.20, let's say. Let's hit render. Maybe I'm gonna also check transparent glass, and let's make sure that this is gonna let as much light as is needed for the inside part. Transparent BSDF. Let's mix, and this shadow ray, just like that. Now we have the glass. Let's see what I'm gonna select more. Here I'm gonna put the same glass material, but let's name it syrup, just like that. I'm gonna make it also red. IO on of 155, and maybe what I can do even more with it, let's put a volume absorption, and I'm gonna make it to absorb. Let's see. So it's taking also some purple colors, just like that. Let's do the metal, because that's just gonna be easy. So we are going for something close to black, not all the way black. Metallic roughness, let's say something like that. Let's put the same material here. Now that's gonna be just metal, normal metal, without any tint. Let's see what I'm selecting. Okay, so for that, I guess subsurface it's gonna solve the things. Or no, I'm having another way. So it's some kind of a translucent material. So let's make it this way. Just like that. Band, that's gonna be band. So here we are having normal metal, then dark metal. That's not gonna be metal, but a reflective screen. Here I'm gonna have a tinted metal. Let's see. Color ramp. I'm gonna press Ctrl T. That's gonna bring a mapping node. Let's just rotate a little bit the things around here like that. So I'm gonna have a darker blue and a lighter blue like that. Then I'm gonna check it to be metallic, something like that. Also not zero rough, but enough to reflect some of the things around here. And then we are having this kind of leather material here. I changed the name for. So let's see, textures, Voronoi texture, just like that. Scale, that's fine. Color ramp, constant. Let's see, distance to the edge. Okay, that's fine. Also how it's looking now. Maybe I'm gonna leave it without the color ramp. Control T. Then I'm gonna put a noise texture. Okay, just like that. Let's get the scale smaller. So that's gonna be into color. Let's also play a little bit with another mix shader, just like that. And I'm gonna, let's say, I'm gonna put a dark blue, just like that. Then multiply. It goes the other way, right? Pretty much, yes. Okay, I'm gonna get a bump node, plug it into height, then normal. Now here I'm gonna put a color ramp. Something like that should be fine. And also I'm gonna take the noise texture for the roughness. Another noise texture. This one is too small. So I'm gonna go with something like that and also bring another color ramp. That's gonna be here and this one here. Poof. After 1 hour and 30 minutes I finished it. That's the result. Let's see how. Let's just do a render. I'm gonna save also, just to be sure. And let's render the so we can see better. Now that's done. Let's compare it. Let me get that bigger. So it's pretty close to reality. Some differences in it, but it's around there. Maybe what I missed to do, from what I'm seeing, do one more thing. I forgot to put that here, just like that. So it's much more visible. Now I can re-render and save the image. Let's save the results. Okay, save as. That's gonna be 1. Let's go for a new project. So after 1 hour and a half, I've done only. Let's see what's gonna be next. We are going random again. That's gonna be something easy. After a hard one, I'm having something easy to do. Let's just take the window and put it right here. Then let's start modeling what I've just done. I've deleted the photo. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. So I got back the photo. Let's bring a cylinder. I'm gonna start with a cylinder. Let's position it something like that. Then I will get this bigger, just like that. Let's also do some kind of a neck for it. Control B. Let's add 2 more edge loops. And I'm gonna scale around here. Now it seems that this needs to be a little bit more taller. Select these points around here. also with this, a little bit more also here. Then I will bevel this side like that. Let's select these polygons around here. Now we need to be able to see through, just like that. I extrude until this point. The bottom of it, it's also much thicker. Now I will try to select the inside. Control B again, right here. I'm gonna scale also this part, but let's say something like that. Shade smooth with auto smooth for the moment. And let's do the cap. Shift D, then separate the selection. I'm gonna bring it much more up, just like that. Let me extrude and then scale like that to bring everything at the center. Now I will look in the tools here and I need to shear this face, but that's not doing nothing. That's perfect. I'm done with that. Control B again, so I bevel the whole thing around here. I'm just gonna shade it smooth. Also, I will put a solidify modifier. For the moment I'm gonna shade it smooth like that. And let's see what do I need to do. I will add an edge loop here, like that. Let's go to polygon selection. Where did I done that? In this way I know for sure I selected the right polygons also on the other side. Loop tools, circle. I'm gonna adjust the radius, just like that. I need to do that also on the other side. Circle, just like that. I'm gonna inset the faces around here, then scale on y-axis. And let's also do some cuts. I'm gonna select this, then inset the faces, 0.038. Okay. Inset 0.038. I will slide these points around here. Okay. I guess I'm gonna do also the materials for every single object that I am doing in this live stream. Like for this, it's pretty much too simple. Okay, then I select back again these polygons around here, and let's just delete the faces. Now, because we are having a solidify modifier, we are not concerned about the thickness. That's why I didn't extrude inside and the rest of the process. Okay, so the modeling part is pretty much done. But I can do more. I'm gonna go into local view. I will select these edge loops. There's one more. Okay. P to separate the selection, extrude, and bring everything in the center. I'm gonna inset the faces a little bit here, just like that. And now let's go for a random change in it. Shade smooth. Let's also put one subdivide modifier on this part. Oh, here it's smooth. Maybe the only thing that I'm gonna do is to put an edge loop on these areas. Oh, thank you so much, Ronnie. Okay, I will subdivide also here. One last subdivide here. Everything looks fine. Now I can go for shading. Again, the same things going on here. I have to set again Blender to cycles, transparent glass, an environment texture, just for the things to have that poof, like that. So the cap, it's metallic. Maybe I can go with some anisotropy, but not too much. Just like that. Now let's make the glass also. 1.19, let's say 1.34. We still need to make sure that there is enough light passing through the glass. So light path is shadow ray, just like that. All good. And now let's try to make some salt. Textures, noise texture, okay. Let's see if I'm putting 500. That's small enough. That's maybe too small. 250. I'm gonna bring also color ramp. Here I'm gonna go for some kind of a gray, just like that. So 500 was good. I'm gonna plug it into the base color, then take one bump node, and maybe I can try some subsurface. No, I'm not gonna go for subsurface, but instead I'm gonna put another color ramp, and that's gonna be plugged into roughness. Okay, we are done also with that. Let me just frame it, and I'm gonna render 128 light path, full global illumination. Let me also save. Okay, so the render is done. Let me put it here on the side, and that's the image, that's the model. That was, let's say, like a break for me, something not so. A new Blender scene. Also, I guess I forgot to save the render, but I will save it later. Now let's see what's next. Or maybe I see two viewers. What I'm gonna, let me just, that's a part, okay. Now guys, I will need you for that. I see I'm having two viewers, so you decide what I'm doing next. That's gonna be 1, that's gonna be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7. You choose what I'm doing. Six was yes, this was 6. 6 it would be. Let me put it on the other monitor and let's start. I do not even know where to begin, what to begin with. Okay. First of the basics. There's a cylinder. If you wanna go for that kind of detail, no. If you want much more detail around there, you are going for a close shot, you can do that, but also it's not gonna be so visible through the glass. It's just let's say Potrinir. Thank you for the subscribe. What did I say? It's just gonna be in the final render, especially if we are talking about something small. How you are seeing this, like, it's not gonna add up so much. Okay, so maybe that's gonna be smaller. I hope I am hitting the right proportions for it. Like that. Also, let me delete the caps, and I'm gonna add a solidify modifier again. That's just gonna get the things much more easy for me. I'm having some handles. Let me just select these parts around here. That's just better. Like that. Extrude and scale on y-axis, just like that. Or maybe I will do it after I finish with the solidify modifier, because that's messing up my geometry here a little bit more. Now let's do that all around there. I'm gonna add one more edge loop around here and one here, just like that. Let's enable the see-through option. Okay, this seems to be big enough. I'm gonna delete the faces, then G twice, like that, and I'm gonna select these points around here and I'm gonna slide them like that. Then I'm gonna do the same on the other side here with a hole there. Yes, like, it's gonna hit hard on the performance, as let's say you are adding some triangles, like a pyramid, the less geometry that you can have, and let's say you are putting 100,000 pieces. Is just slowing the things down, and you are not gonna render only the salt. Maybe if you are doing a product shot for that, let's say this can happen, but if you are doing a table with much more many things there, maybe you are gonna have something else to use that geometry on. Okay, so I'm pretty much finished with the solidify modifier here. Now I can finally select the polygons here. Extrude scale on y-axis. I'm gonna select these points around here and scale them on y-axis like that. Then let's add two edge loops around here. Okay, this should be fine for the handles, and maybe one last thing that I need to do here, I will change it like, let me also adjust the points here. Okay, that's good. Now I'm gonna add two edge loops around this area, which is gonna get the things much more complex because I have to move again the the points around here just like that. And the reason I am adding those edge loops, in this way I can add some holes there. Let's just go to select polygons, bridge, and the same on the other side. I will scale this without x-axis, just like that, so it's gonna be a small hole, just like that. Now for the handles, I got something wrong. Here I've done the whole geometry as one. I know in the middle here, there's nothing. That's gonna be painful. Let me just add two edge loops here to here like that. So I'm gonna delete the faces around this area. I'm gonna select all the polygons. I will try to solve somehow this problem. First off, I'm gonna press I to insert the faces, just like that. Then I will extrude and scale on Z-axis first off, and a little bit on Y-axis, just like that, so I can see what's happening there. And I'm gonna delete the faces. Now I'm gonna also select these parts, extrude and scale them without x-axis, extrude, scale without x-axis, just like that. So that's good. Now, one thing that I didn't took in account, it's that the cylinder is getting the polygons bigger as it's going much more down, and when I extruded, it also kept the same way of working. Now I also to find a way to work it out. GX, okay, so somewhere around here. I'm gonna select this edge loop, then go to polygons, so I can select the points. Why do I say polygons? Also here, and this one maybe should stay here. Like that, I'm gonna select also this. Now it's much better, but I need to do that also on the other part here. And maybe here I will adjust the edge just a little bit. Or there it's a faster way, not to do all the work also on the other part and also on the other side. Just bring in the big guns like that. So delete the vertices. Now press B again. I'm gonna delete the vertices also around here. Then apply a mirror modifier with X and Y axis. And now for every single change that I'm doing here, it's gonna happen on all of the sides. Let's work for me. Now I will try to get the things straight around here. So I'm gonna select these two edges, then G stretch. It also spread. Okay. So the bigger part of the body is pretty much done. What I'm gonna do here inside, I see this part it's much more thicker than the rest of the body. So I will just select that and I will change from median point here into 3D cursor, but scale without Z. So now I get the same result as in the photo. I'm gonna change it back to the median point. Control R, I'm adding an edge loop here. I will extrude one more time. Much better. Okay, like that. Now let's get the hand. I'm gonna bring a cube, GZ, just like that. Scale it a little bit on x-axis, just like that. I'm gonna apply the scale, and I will put a mirror modifier The mirror object is gonna be here, and mirror on y-axis. That's just perfect. Let's select the edges, G, Z, around here, Y, like that. I'm gonna select this polygon and let's get it out around here. Now I'm gonna extrude until this point. Let's just scale on y-axis, that. And now we scale it more on x-axis. One edge loop goes here. Then I scale it more, GY, one edge loop here, and then I'm gonna scale a little bit this. Everything goes in little bits. Okay, one more edge loop. Let's check. I got to curve it a little bit more. Maybe here I will make it much more out, just like that. And let's add 2 edge loops so I can get this part down like that. I will enter in edit mode for the main body. I select all of these polygons here, points. Why do I say polygons? Okay, Shift S, then cursor to selected. This brought the cursor right in the middle of this shape. And I'm gonna bring a cylinder. That's too much. Okay, so I scale it to, let's make it like this. I'm gonna apply the scale, then enter into edit mode. Now let me see how I'm gonna do the line. Maybe I will do that by putting another object here. Put a cube, like that. Also, forgetting to apply the scale. Scale it outside here and getting this part just like that. Then I will select these polygons here. This times I'm selecting polygons, not points. Okay, insert the faces, extrude, scale on x-axis just like that, then P to separate the selection. I'm gonna select back everything, then extrude, scale on x-axis around here, and now I'll bring 3 edge loops, then press E and flip. This should make this line straight. Also this G, E, F, just like that. Problem solved also with this one. G twice, E for even. And now we solved also this problem. Like all around here, Control B, like that. Insert the faces, extrude. I was ready to extrude the whole thing. Or maybe I'm gonna make the things. So I need to make the same. Control B. Perfect. Let's shade the things smooth. One more thing to do here. Maybe I'm gonna go into local view and I'm gonna add a lot of edge loops. Let's say that's just enough. One is selected, one just like that. Extrude, scale without z-axis. Now let's see how much I need to get out. I'm pretty much there. Shade smooth. One last thing to bring. So I'm gonna get the cursor here, cursor to selected, curves. I can go for, let me see, curved spiral. Okay, I'm gonna adjust the height, but let's go lower. I'm gonna position right away the screw just like, let me see how much it's going. 3 times should, or maybe I will put 2. Right in the beginning it's straight. So I'm gonna also do that. Let's also adjust the height. Extrude Z. I'm gonna try to make this transition much more smoother, just like that. Now let's take a look into the curve profile, and I will do this like that. So apparently I'm having no other option to taper it, so I will need to make it manual. Convert curve to mesh. So first off, I'm gonna start with that, then scale the things by ourselves. Okay, that's fine. Now we can apply the best thing here, or wait, I forgot to add the dots here. Cursor to selected, cylinder. I'm gonna rotate on top. Yes, the live stream is gonna be on YouTube available as it is, and also I will post it later. I will try to do a version of it, but shortened, like without the moments when I'm not saying anything. A version where I try to cut like 50% of the live stream, so it's much more shorter. You are gonna see only relevant parts, not me looking into the camera and saying nothing. I guess the guitar is gonna be the next one. Okay, now that looks more like a circle. Let's mirror the things. Y-axis, just like that. I'm gonna scale a little bit more. Shade smooth. So this part, it's already done. Now let's see how I will smooth the things around here. Also on the other side, just like that. One edge loop around here and then there. Let's also add the edge loops around this area. Thank you so much. Sau mulțumesc. Mulțumesc pentru vizionare. Okay, so I adjust a little bit the circle around here like that because it's too much distorted. Da, e un fel de hobby. That's the wrong side here. E foarte fain când poți să faci orice, așa că limita e numai imaginația. Și în cazul ăsta, de ce să nu încerc să fac cât mai multe lucruri? Okay, so after I applied the subdivide modifier, things got pretty well for the handles also. Now it's looking much better, not just blocky as it was. One here and one here. Here for this part, it's gonna be just tedious to add an edge loop for every single part. So what we can do, I'm just gonna go to local view so I can see better what's happening here. Change that to flat, and I'm gonna add a small bevel. If I enable shading with auto smooth, then harder normals, that's gonna look much better. As you can see, that's shading it a little bit strange, like the normals are looking like there it's a curve in the middle of the polygons here, which, let's say, for the moment is not a big problem. But when you are doing furniture, you are wanting the faces to be pretty straight. Also here, but not too much. Okay, subdivide surface also here, just like that, and the last subdivide surface modifier goes right here. Let's adjust the things. See you soon, man. Have a cool weekend too. Okay, so after I have added those edge loops there, I'm not having any more empty spaces. One more edge loop here, just like that. So now I finished modeling that. Let's just save. Now let's set up Blender, cycles, and device GPU. Same story. Let's just bring environment texture, transparent. Okay, let's get to the fun part. Now I'm gonna get a new material, metal again. Let's just get closer. So metallic roughness, that's pretty good already, like it's not so reflective. But also I'm gonna add let's see, Voronoi texture. Let's try with Voronoi texture. By the way it's looking now, it's just gonna make that kind of let me better show and then explain. It's like a hit of the hammer, but that's too much applied. I need just a small effect, just like that. But maybe it's still too much. 0.07. Okay, that's great, but I'm gonna go for a scale of 100, maybe much more. 200. Let's try 200. 0.04. Yes, that's much better. Now I will put a nice texture, bringing a color ramp and put it into roughness. As I said, I will need the things to be rough. So value 0.5. So that's a gray with a white. Let's say we are not going for 100% white. Okay, so that's now much more visible. Let's go for a smaller scale like that. Maybe add more details. And now I will just make it subtle. Maybe I can go for a harder normal. Yes, that's fine. So the same metal it's going on the handles. Here you go. Also metallic. This time less rough, just like that. And that's gonna be the same metal also for the cork here. I guess that's the name. Cork screw. And the rubber material for that. Or plastic. Let's say that's plastic. So black, just like that. Much more roughness. Textures, Voronoi texture. And I'm gonna go for, let's see, something like that. Vector, bump node, and height. Okay, so less strength and also let's bring the color ramp just like that. So in this way it's just doing some dents the material there. Also I'm seeing that and I do not like how it's looking. It's here just like that. Now let's adjust the camera. I'm gonna save and let's do the settings to render the final result. Render. Okay, render is finished. Now let's take a look at the photo and what I have. Pretty cool. Maybe one more adjustment that I'm needing to do, as I know that Blender is doing that. The roughness gradient, it's not working in a proper way, like from 1 to 0. So if we are going for a value of 0.9, it's not truly 0.9. So we have to play a little bit with the things around here. So maybe I will get it just like that. Let me see what value I'm having for the first one. 0.19 and here 0.24. Let's take a look. 0.29 and 0.38. Okay, so that's looking much better. Let's render again. Now this looks just much better. Let's also save the image just like that. That's gonna be 3 because I had also the 2 and it's gonna be on X. Okay, save as image. And now the real player, the ukulele. So that's gonna be the next thing that I'm gonna model. Let's get a new Blender scene. I'm gonna take the photo. Okay, so here there are a lot of things to be modeled, but the shape should be easy. Second screen, around, just like that. And I'm gonna start with the cube around here. Then let's apply the scale. I'm gonna extrude till this point, let's say. Then I will add 3 edge loops around this area. I'm gonna select these polygons around here, scale on y-axis, just like that. Going to edge edit, so I'm gonna scale on y also here, and the bigger bulge, thank you, the bigger bulge of the ukulele, it's gonna be around here. It's close to the bottom area. Scale on y just like that. Okay, now let's add 2 edge loops around here. I'm gonna select these edges, G twice, so if Blender it's listening to me, it's gonna, no, okay, then I'm gonna move it just like that. I will adjust a little bit the edges here, then also let's adjust these edges, going on x-axis just like that. I'm gonna add 2 edge loops around here, selecting these edges just like that. Okay, this looks good for the moment. I will need a circle around this area. Let me just adjust the points around here like that. G twice, okay. inset, then selecting the edges, circle. Why did it rotated the circle? Okay, I'm gonna scale a little bit that around here. Let's just move the points in this area like that. Maybe I will scale a little bit more the points around this area so they are not poking at as much. Okay, the first part of the body, it's done. Maybe that's a little bit too thick, so I'm just gonna select this part here, then GZ, okay, something like that, much better. Now this polygon in the center, it's pretty fine. I can duplicate it, I can make use of it. So let's get into edit mode. I'm gonna take the edge, then GX, just like that. I guess that's enough. I'm gonna taper the way the neck is going, because it's not straight, it's getting smaller and smaller as it's going away from the body of the guitar or ukulele in this case. And let's just extrude, something like that should be fine. I'm gonna add an edge loop around here, then extrude until this point. Let's move a little bit the edge around this area, and also I'm gonna get these points smaller like that. I'm gonna add 2 edge loops. First thing that I'm gonna do with them, it's moving them on z-axis just like that, so we get some some thickness to the neck. Scale on y-axis just like that, and also here's gonna go down more. It's just a small difference. Okay, now I'm gonna move these points around this area. Let's add 2 edge loops like that. GY, okay, something like this. Also GY here. So let me select these points around here. Let's also select these points, something like that. Okay, perfect. This part is solved. Maybe one more thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add another edge loop around here, and I'm gonna lower it just like that, so the way it's going, it's much smoother. Also, let's make that difference in the thickness much more visible. Maybe that's too much, just like that. Okay, now for the head of it, I'm thinking about going from the same object here. Maybe I will do that. I will try to do my best for that. But first off, these points are going lower, and then G stretch, so everything goes straight like that. Then I can extrude more. Let's extrude until this point, just like that. GX, okay, GX. I'm gonna put an edge loop here, and then I will extrude and scale on y-axis just like that. Scale on y just like that. Maybe the head can go a little more forwards like that. And also what I'm gonna do, thanks dude, I'm gonna rotate a little bit the polygons around here just like that, so I'm getting an angle around here. That's how the heads are just straight. Maybe I can go for a harder angle, something like that. Then I need to rotate the thing a little bit more here. And now let's see, I'm gonna press Shift S to get the cursor right here. Then let's bring a cube. I'm gonna get the cube smaller, like this small, and scale on y-axis until this point. I'm just gonna move it a little bit more forward, like that. This should be perfect. Let's get it a little bit more up, just like that. I'm gonna apply the scale. Then for the tabs, I'm just gonna duplicate it, go on x-axis. How many do I have? 5, 7, 12. So I should fit 18 of this array. 18. Let's see. GX. Okay. Now let's see how I'm gonna scale them. Maybe I can use a modifier for that, not just scaling each of the tabs. And first off, let's get a little bit lower with them, just like that. Maybe if I add a simple deform and then taper, yes, that's going exactly how I want it. So like that. Oh yes, I almost forgot that the spacing is also not even in between them. Maybe that's gonna be something that I'm gonna do manually. Okay, apply. Let's enter into edit mode and then select each of them. Okay, so this spacing should be bigger. Hope I selected everything. This goes like that, then this goes like that. That's gonna be tedious, but okay. GX. Okay, it's selected. Now the things are getting much more smaller. Yes, this should be fine. GX. Here maybe I should go a little bit more. I don't know why I'm having to press L multiple times to be applied. Okay, this should be right. Go on, select it. GX, just like that. Perfect. Okay, so I got also the spacing in between them. This should be fine. I need to do more. Let's just select this polygon here, or maybe, no, I'll get the cursor here. Then let's bring a cylinder. That's a little bit too big, but we can work with it. Okay, let me get the angle right. Perfect. Now if I press Z twice, that's gonna scale into local Z. Scale a little bit more on local Z, just like that. Now let's position it. Okay, that's perfect. Shade smooth with auto smooth. I'm gonna go into edit mode, scale here, going on to the local Z. I'm gonna add one edge loop around here, let's say, then two edge loops here, and I'm gonna scale them without local Z. Maybe this one is gonna be scaled a little bit more, something like that. Then I will select this loop. I'm gonna duplicate it and separate it. Hope I've done that. Let's scale that a little, just like this. Then I'm gonna extrude, scale without local Z axis until this point. Okay. Then let's add an edge loop around here. Why did I extrude? Extrude, scale without local Z. I'm gonna select this edge, Control B, just okay. That's what's happening when you are not applying the scale. Control B, okay. That's gonna be smooth, just like that. And let's see, maybe here I'm gonna go inside. Extrude, scale without local Z. Okay, so apparently it's getting me into the normal. Okay, perfect. Now maybe I'm gonna smooth also this part around here, something like that. So that's where the strings are gonna fit. Let's also duplicate this around here. Shift D, X, and I'm gonna go right here. Okay, this is still fitting, that's perfect. Let's also add a solidify modifier. This only rim, maybe I get it a little bit more thicker. And then let's add a cube. Shift A, apply the scale. Let's position it right, something like that. GY, just like that. GX, something like that. And maybe I'm gonna make it much more smoother. So scale along Y-axis like that. And here, I'm just gonna leave it like that. But I'm gonna press Ctrl B just to smooth the things going on around here. Shade smooth. Let's add a bevel modifier. Also, I apply the scale. Something like that. Add the normals. auto smooth, just like that. Now let's do it right where it needs to be. Shift D, then Y around here like that. I'm gonna select this edge, Shift S to get the cursor there. Then I'm gonna bring a cylinder, another cylinder. Let's rotate it on x-axis 90 degrees, just like that. Maybe I will get it a little bit lower around here, and also more outside with auto smooth, just like that. Let's apply the scale. I'm gonna taper it a little bit, just like that. Then let's also bring the cursor there. I'm gonna bring a cube, another cube. Let's also apply the scale just to be sure. G, X, Y. Okay. Extrude, scale on x-axis, just like that. I'm gonna scale on y-axis. Maybe I can go a little bit more further, just like that. Then I will put, let's say, 4 edge loops. I'm gonna select the 2 in the middle, scale on z-axis, just like that. And maybe I'm gonna add 1 edge loop around here, and I'm gonna scale it on y-axis, just like that. Maybe it can be a little bit bigger, or not bigger but longer. Scale X, X. Let's go to polygons, and then I'm gonna select also these points here, and I'm gonna make it something like that. Shade smooth, maybe with auto smooth, or maybe for the moment I'm gonna leave it just like that. So I'm gonna select this handle and the rod here. Let's just duplicate it. Shift D, you go here. Shift D, rotate on Z-axis, global axis. Okay, rotate on Z-axis 180 degrees, just like that. GY. Okay, Shift D, that's right here. Now for the moment, every single button here, it's on the same plane. But I'm gonna change a little bit the things going on here, so it's looking more random, because when you're tuning it, also look here, they are not gonna stay aligned. Something like that. What do I have more? The bottom part. Let's just select these points here, Shift S, and then let's bring another cube. Still too big. I'm gonna make it smaller, just like that. I need to apply the scale on y-axis, like that. Maybe a little bit lower, and I'm gonna bring 2 edge loops. So in this way, let's also go a little bit more lower, just like that. And what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna select these points here, and I'm gonna scale them on y-axis. Let's just go all the way up like that. Then G, scale on Y, just like that. Yep. Pioneer, you are playing guitar. Let's bring one more cube. I'm gonna scale this cube also. Let's put around here. Scale Y. Okay. Shift D. Oh, I forgot to apply the scale here. Shift D, X. That. Let's scale on X. Shift D, X here. Let's scale on X. GZ. That's gonna be much more smoother. Something like that. Works good. Maybe I'm gonna apply a bevel modifier also for this, but not as hard as for the other ones. Shading harden normal. Then I'm gonna select this object and this one, and the last one, the one that's having the modifier. Control L, again Control L, copy modifiers, just like that. Shade with auto smooth, shade with auto smooth, just like that. For this, maybe I'm gonna subdivide. Let's also add the dots. Let's say 16 polygons. We don't need that much geometry. Depth, not too much. I'm gonna adjust it somewhere around here for the moment. Shift D, Y, just like. Now I'm gonna copy this. Shift D, okay. That's pretty cool. Maybe you will have the chance to get in touch with music, if it's guitar or any other instrument. I'm having a guitar. Let me show you. 1 second, I'm gonna get the camera bigger. But in the last months, I didn't play it so much. Play as I used to do. But it was cool. Now let's get back to what we were doing. So I'm gonna copy this here, this circle here. Then we need to count 5 tabs. Here we are gonna have 1 point. Let's also scale them a little bit, just like that. Okay, perfect. Okay, that's too much. Here, median point again. Then I will duplicate it and go on x-axis here on the tab 7. That's the other dot. It's going on 10 on the tab 10 here. Then we are gonna have 2 on tab 12. Shift D X, 1 goes here. Shift D X, and 1 goes right here. Yes, you are right. It's an electric guitar. I used to play a lot of metal. What I'm doing, okay. So maybe with these dots here, I can select all of them because I'm not gonna move them anymore. They can stay right here. Control J, that's gonna join all of the dots there. That's just good. Maybe I can do here the same, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna let them right here. Maybe I'm gonna move them later. So for the moment, they are gonna stay like that. Later on, they're moved out of the way. Okay, something else to do. Yes, here. I'm just gonna select this polygon, cursor to selected like that. Let's bring another cylinder, rotate it on y-axis, 90 degrees, GX, okay. I'm gonna enter in edit mode just like that. Insert the face, then extrude one more time. I'm gonna scale just like that. Extrude inside and scale. Shade without smooth. So that's pretty much perfect. I'm gonna add just a small bevel to it so it's gonna look smooth to the eye. Just like that. Let's also add one subdivide modifier for this. One edge loops go here and one here. Maybe I'm gonna take the solidify modifier and I'm just gonna select the whole thing here and then extrude something like that. I'm gonna bring 2 more edge loops around here. I will try also a subdivide modifier here, but I'm not sure if it's gonna work with me. Like one edge loop goes here, one like that. Okay, it's looking pretty good for the moment. I'm gonna put an edge loop right here and one here. Okay, so it's fine. Let's add the bevel modifier for these parts here. Shade smooth with auto smooth. Control L to copy the modifier, then auto smooth. So this is now pretty much solved. Maybe we can add one more detail. I guess it's also present, or maybe not. I cannot see exactly what's happening here on the edge, but I'm gonna do that. Let's select this loop. P selection, okay. So I'm gonna go. First off, I'm gonna select these edges here, like that. Then let's see, solidify modifier. I'm gonna go like that. I'm gonna apply the solidify modifier. Let's put some edge loops around here. Okay, so we need to get the shape a little bit more out, just like that. Maybe I'm gonna get it a little bit lower, just like that. So that's perfect. That's a small detail that we are adding. Now let's see how I'm gonna do the strings. First I'm gonna bring a new mesh, and that's gonna be a single vert. Do I have it? Yes, I have it. It's right here. I'm gonna check snapping, median point. Okay, let's see. So it's gonna go from here. Then I will extrude until this point, just like that, and this will go straight into this one here, just like that. And let's also add one more point, GX, like that. That's perfect. Let's duplicate the string, but without snapping. GY, okay. One will go here, one will go here, and the last one goes here. Let's just get some spacing more in between them, just like that. GY, okay. Now that's fine here. GY, okay. Now I need snapping. This goes here, that's gonna be here, and let's solve the last one. Okay, the spacing looks much better. Now that's gonna be here, just like that. So these are gonna be the strings. Maybe I can make them a little bit more smoother. Let me just select all of them so I can edit all of them in the same time. So GZ, just like that. So I'm bringing some more space for them, and also here, just like that. Now Control Shift B, that's gonna apply a bevel modifier for the verts, something like that, which looks much more better. And I'm gonna do the same here, Control Shift B, just like that, so there's a smooth transition in between them. Now what I can do with these objects that I've just created, I can go to Object, Convert, and then convert it to a curve. And by doing that, now I can go to Geometry here and add some thickness to it. For the ukulele, the first string, it's the thinner one. Let's also shade smooth. Then here we do the same thing, convert to curve. That's gonna be the thicker one. Let's make it like 0.6, so that's 0.2, 0.6. Maybe that's gonna be 0.5 or 4 and 3. Let's also shade this smooth like that. 0.006, 0.004. Shade smooth. And the last one here, convert curve, 0.003. Shade smooth. Okay, so the strings are solved, but they're just going right inside. We need much more things to go on. So I'm gonna go back to curves, Shift A, shifters, cursor to selected, curves, okay, curves, spiral. Maybe I'm gonna make the radius smaller, just like that. Height also a little bit smaller. And let's do something like that. Now I'm gonna select these parts here, turn on proportional editing, then scale without Z, something like that. Set geometry to origin. No, it's not helping me at all. I have to position it by myself. Like that. You go up, let's scale a little bit here, rotate on y-axis just like that. So this is 002. 002. Okay. Also, maybe if we apply the scale, it's gonna show up right, because I see they are not matching totally, so maybe I'm gonna do something like that. Okay, something like that. Let's turn off proportional editing, and then I'm gonna extrude this like that. So that's just gonna be a little bit of extra of the string going on here. Then let's just duplicate it, go to y-axis around here, GY, okay. Rotate on local Y, something like that. Let's get this a little bit more thicker. Shift D, then they are going right here. Hope I matched the things correctly. Okay, rotate on local Z. Let's say that's gonna go like that. That's gonna be thicker like this, and that's gonna be like and then I'm gonna duplicate the point here. Let's go on x-axis like that. P to separate the selection. Now, okay, X goes here, then down, just like that. Oops, wrong extrusion. GX, okay, extrude, then extrude down. Let's go up a little bit more. Control Shift B. That trick is not working anymore. Okay, so I'm just gonna extrude, then bring it up a little bit more, just like that, and I will do something like this. Maybe I can change the curve type, set spline type to Bezier. Okay, that's much better, but too much. GZ, okay, this goes here. Okay, just like that we solved also this. Shift D, then Y, Shift D, Y, just like that, Shift D and Y. Already 9:30. How did that time pass? Okay, so that's gonna be much bigger. I'm gonna change some things into it, just like that. Maybe I'm gonna adjust that part. Oh yes, you know it should happen differently. Like, why doesn't the time do the same at work? Let's say you're just going to work, and you're like, whoa, I'm finished, and I guess I finished the modeling also. That's the result. Also, I see the spacing in between the strings. It's pretty good. They are not too far away from the tabs. Also, let me check how much battery I'm having for the camera. Pretty fine for the moment. Not too much, so I guess the ukulele is gonna be the final model that I'm doing. Yes, there are not too many cases. Like, in some parts it can be a legend. Thank you so much. Okay, film, transparent glass. Even though we are not gonna have glass into the materials for that. Okay, let's get the environment texture, just like that. So now we can render. First off, the simple thing, metal. Thank you for watching. Okay, now I will try to select all of this. Yes, and then Control L, link materials. Control L again, link materials. Let's take a look now. That's pretty good. And maybe I can apply the same metal material here. Just like that. Now for the wood material, that's gonna be tricky. So it's all in the texture. Let's bring a wave texture, something like that. Much more distortion. Maybe I'm gonna go for Y, something like that. Let's bring some more details, something like that. And maybe let me try something new. No. The other way. Let's check the other way. Okay. This should work. Let's bring a color ramp. I'm gonna take some wood colors. Let's say something close to red and something like that. Let's just plug it into color. Maybe it can be a little bit more darker. So that's gonna be like that, and that's gonna be like that. Also, maybe I'm gonna bring more contrast into them. Color ramp. Let's go for less waves, something like that. Then let's see how the gradient should look. Okay, that's fine. If I'm checking spherical, no. Radial, no. I'm gonna keep it simple. Linear, B-spline, just like that. Okay. Maybe I'm gonna go to color and take an invert node. Something like that. You know what? I'm gonna invert them manually because... Okay, then Control Shift right click, just like that. Let's take a look, multiply. Now I'm gonna take the same wood material here. For the moment I'm gonna leave it like that, but I'm gonna change some things there. Okay, that's pretty good. Take another color ramp. Let's plug it into roughness. And thank you so much. Maybe that day will come. Until then, I still have to try to do videos as much as I can. Okay, so the roughness now, that's too much. So let's see how something like that looks. Let's also bring a bump map. That's gonna add more details into the texture, just like that, but we're having some strong details. So 0.1 should just give an idea about what's happening here. Maybe a little bit more, just like that. I appreciate it so much. Okay, let's see what more. Texture, noise texture. Let's bring a... No. Wait. I'm gonna bring a mix RGB. I'm gonna mix it in here, just like that, with a yellow color, something like that, and that's gonna be the factor. Let's bring also a color ramp. So the thing is, I do not want so much of this, just here and there, like that. Maybe smaller. Let's see, 100. Also maybe they can be much more softer. 50. Okay, this looks good. So that's pretty much there. Now let's select this other one. That's gonna be wood 2, and I'm gonna go for lighter colors and maybe more yellowish. Also I'm gonna mix less of the gradient, something like that. So now we can see the difference. Also let's add a metal material here. Same metal material goes here, here, and also for this link material. Here maybe I'm gonna go with wood 2. That's gonna be wood 1, link material, wood again. Then this time I do not want any more the gradient here. I can just disable it like that. But here I'm gonna add 2 materials. So let's add one more material slot, and that's gonna be that, but different. Let's select the polygons here, assign. Okay, so now that I'm in slot 2, I can go for a darker look, something like that. Maybe much more dark. Let's try much more. Assign also here. Here is just going off. Maybe what I can do. Perfect, problem solved. Now let's see for this. Maybe I'm gonna leave it as material, just like that. Let's get to it a yellowish color, like that, and also a yellowish subsurface color. And the same color can go here. That's gonna be material 01, just like that. Material 01. Here, let's see, wood 03. Whoa, I can't believe I finished it. No cube. To the world origin, let's bring a plane. Something like that. Let's see where the camera is. Like that. Light path. Let's also save that. Everything is well. Let's render. Thanks, dude. Okay, so the render is done. You can take a look. Yes, maybe I could have done the top a little bit smaller, but it's there. That was a GG. Thank you so much for the support. I wanna ask you, do you want the model of the ukulele? As I appreciate so much your support in this live stream, I give you the model file of the. Yes, we can name it. Well, message me on Infect 3D models, and I will tell you everything you need to get. So that's basically my Instagram. Oh, that's perfect. Then give me a message on there, and we can solve that. Also, to make sure, let's first off save the image. So there's gonna be 4. Let's make sure I saved the file. I see.